Hey, what's up people? Piz out here, and today I want to talk to you guys about Scream Factory's new Blu-ray release for Bad Moon. Now this is partially going to be a review of the movie and a review of this release. And Bad Moon is the story of a photojournalist played by Michael Pere. He's off in Borneo doing what all photojournalists apparently do, make love to beautiful women in a tent. Unfortunately, while doing so, he is attacked and mauled by a werewolf. He then returns home to Pacific Northwest to spend time with his sister, played by Mariel Hemingway, and his nephew, played by Mason Gamble, hoping that family love will exorcise the evil that is within him. It doesn't. Bloodshed and carnage ensue. Now, that's pretty much the synopsis that you'll find on the back of this release for Bad Moon. However, Eric Red, the screenwriter and director of Bad Moon, sums it up perfectly in the making of on this release, in which he says the movie is really about the dog Thor and how much he loves his pack. And by his pack, he means Mariel Hemingway's character and Mason Gamble's character, and how devoted he is to protecting his pack. So when a new dog encroaches on his territory and threatens his pack, he will do anything and everything to protect his pack. Now, Bad Moon is based on a book called Thor, which is told entirely from the dog's point of view. Now, luckily for us, Bad Moon does not follow down that same path. It is not told entirely from the dog's point of view. However, and one of the things I've always liked about Bad Moon is that I've always felt that it has this kind of oddball, almost rebellious kind of charm. Like it kind of wants to be this almost a kid-friendly dog movie, but at the same time this really bloody, gory werewolf movie. And the two sides just kind of they mesh more than they collide, but they do both during this movie, and it's just kind of an odd juxtaposition, really. But the dog, Thor, in the movie, he really is the star. And he is really the smartest character in the movie. He's kind of like the final girl. He's the most forthright. You're just rooting for him. You like this character, and it's a dog. But you like him, and you're rooting for him. So the movie just has this sort of oddball charm to it that I've always dug, that I've always tapped into while watching Bad Moon. And Bad Moon is a pretty good werewolf movie. Now, granted, we don't have the werewolf movie pool is pretty shallow, especially when you get over to the good end, because there's very few good werewolf movies. I can only think of 4, maybe 5 off the top of my head, and that includes Bad Moon. And Bad Moon does a lot of things that a werewolf movie needs to do. The werewolf effects in the movie look fantastic. Steve Johnson does a fantastic job. The werewolf suit looks phenomenal. The werewolf head is great. There's this sequence where the werewolf is like handcuffed to this tree, and it's like clawing at the tree, and it raises up and it howls. And it reminds you of how good practical mechanical effects can be when done right, and how bad even big budget CGI effects are today. Put that sequence up against anything in Transformers with mega budgets and lots and lots of CGI, and that sequence looks better than any of them. That's a phenomenal practical mechanical effect. Lots and lots of the red stuff in this movie as well. The werewolf is just absolutely bloodthirsty, slashing people's throats, cutting off fingers, tearing people to pieces. Lots of blood, lots of gore, lots of guts in this movie as well. So they handle the werewolf elements of it pretty well. And the movie's also really well done. They shot the movie in Canada in I believe it's the Olympic National Park. The cinematography, that setting, the way the movie is shot is absolutely beautiful. The movie looks like $1 million. The music is good. The pacing is good. The wolf on dog fighting toward the end is really well done as well. Michael Pere in the lead. And I've always liked Michael Pere. I've always thought he had kind of a really unique sort of screen presence. Mason Gamble in the movie, who plays the little boy, he also played Dennis the Menace in the Dennis the Menace movie. He's a little annoying, but he was a child actor, so I can forgive him for that. Mariel Hemingway's performance is very uneven. It seems like some days she was on, some days she wasn't. Eric Red, as a matter of fact, in the making of, talks about how he had to use some director tactics in order to pull the best possible performance out of her. But overall, I've always really liked Bad Moon. It's not perfect. It's got some flaws. But just as a werewolf movie, it's pretty darn good. And I think you can take it a step further. And like I said, it has that sort of oddball, rebellious charm about it that I've always tapped into. It wants to be this sort of almost kid-friendly dog movie, yet at the same time just pour blood everywhere and guts and werewolf tearing people to ribbons, and just an odd juxtaposition there, really. But I've always dug it. If you've not seen Bad Moon, you should. If you're a werewolf movie fan, I'm assuming you've already seen Bad Moon. But if you've not, definitely go out and check it out. And this is a really good release from Scream Factory, so this would be the way that I would suggest you see it. Now, this is not a collector's edition, multi-disc, loaded with extras release. We do have couple of nice extras on Bad Moon. We have a 35-minute making of called Nature of the Beast. Got interviews with Eric Red, Steve Johnson, Ken Kersinger, Michael Pere, and Mason Gamble. They talk about anything and everything associated with the movie. They all seem to have had a great time making the movie. The movie seems to be very near and dear to all of their hearts, even to this day. Eric Red talks about casting the movie, not just the human actors, but the dog actors as well, and how they had to, some of the tactics that they had to use to sort of get the right performance out of the dog. Michael Pere says that there were a lot of hot dogs on the set. Steve Johnson talks about creating the wolf suit and the wolf effects. Ken Kersinger talks about playing the wolf and some of the hardships of playing the werewolf in this movie. They talk about the battle with the MPAA they got into over the rating. It was initially slapped with an NC-17. Of course, they talk about that awful CGI transformation, and they're all just like, hey, we messed up, we screwed up, we dropped the ball on that one. But yeah, it's a nice, in-depth making of for Bad Moon. If you're a fan of Bad Moon, you definitely want to check this making of featurette out. Really in-depth, about 35 minutes. Definitely worth your time. We've got an unrated opening sequence to the film, which is it's sourced from a VHS. It's a little longer opening to the movie. The movie opens in Borneo with Michael Pere and the beautiful woman going at it in the tent. This version's a lot longer, a lot more graphic, let's just say. It had to be cut down. But pretty interesting. We've got transformation sequence storyboards, Thor and the werewolf fight storyboards. Thor stares down Ted, which is Michael Pere's character in the film, storyboards. Got a theatrical trailer. We've got a commentary with Eric Red. I did not check the commentary out yet, but I do intend to. And of course, we've got both director's cuts and theatrical cuts of the movie on this release. The picture quality and the sound quality are both good. This doesn't sport any kind of new, 4K transfer or anything like that. It's presented in 1080p high definition widescreen with a DTS HD master audio stereo. So the picture quality and the sound quality are both good. They're good. But if you're a fan of Bad Moon, or if you've never checked out Bad Moon, you definitely should. And this would be the way that I would suggest that you check it out. Pretty nice release here from the folks over at Scream Factory. If you are a fan of Bad Moon, please let me know what you think of it in the comment section below. If you want to tell me what your favorite werewolf movies are, please do so in the comments section below. Hope you liked this video. If you did, please leave it a thumbs up. If you're not following me on social media, please do so. Those links are in the description. They're also right around here somewhere as well. Thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it. You guys are awesome. Take care, and until next time, peace.